Welcome to Ambassador's Daily Banquet, Odo, your daily spiritual nourishment. Yeah, yeah, we feast on God's word, draw strength from his promises to live as true ambassadors. Jure, receive fresh revelation to empower your faith. Oh yeah, let us step into today's banquet. Come on, step into the banquet.
You know, what is true love, really? Well, the material we're digging into today suggests it's tied to one incredibly powerful and, honestly, challenging idea: sacrifice. So we're gonna explore what that actually means. And it all starts right here. This single verse is really the heart of this entire discussion. You see, this isn't just some nice-sounding platitude. The source material frames this as the ultimate standard. This is the gold standard for love, the benchmark everything else gets measured against. So, how do we even begin to unpack an idea that big? Well, we're gonna take it step by step. First, we'll look at the ultimate expression of this kind of love. Then, we'll nail down a really clear definition. After that, we'll see what it looks like in practice. And finally, we'll get to what it asks of us personally. All right, let's jump right in with that first part, the ultimate expression, the message of the cross. Now, what's so fascinating is how our source material treats this. It's not just presented as some historical event that we're supposed to admire from afar. No, it's framed as an active standard for how we should live and lead, right here, right now. It's a direct call to actually embody that same principle of selfless love. And this isn't just some abstract concept. It has very real, tangible results. The source makes it really clear that when this kind of love is put into practice, it creates this powerful ripple effect. It's not a passive feeling. It actively builds stronger communities because it inspires loyalty, it builds trust, and it creates a genuine sense of unity. Okay, so we have this symbol, but what are we actually talking about here? What does this sacrificial love really mean day to day? Let's try and get a solid definition. Here it is, and I want you to really focus on those three key words: active, tangible, and transformative. This means it's not just some vague feeling inside, right? It's active, it does stuff. It's tangible, you can actually see it and feel it. And it's transformative, it has the power to change both the person giving the love and the person on the receiving end. And this idea, it really sets up two completely different ways of living. On one side, you've got this life that's all about prioritizing other people, about forgiveness, about serving. And on the other, a life that's really driven by what's best for me, what's convenient. The source is basically saying, look, these are two totally different paths, and we all have to choose which one we're on. Okay, so we've got the theory down, but what does this look like in the real world? Let's see if we can bridge the gap from these ancient ideas to our lives today. The source brings up the story of Ruth as a perfect example. And I mean, think about her situation for a second. Her husband dies. She could have easily and justifiably gone back to the comfort of her own home, her own people. Nobody would have blamed her. But she doesn't. She chooses loyalty, knowing it's going to be a much harder road. And this is her incredible declaration. It's the perfect way to put it into words, this idea of putting someone else's well-being completely before your own. I mean, that is what a commitment to a sacrificial life sounds like. And the source holds it up as this prime example. And this is a really crucial point. Because yeah, the story of Ruth is ancient, but this principle, it is absolutely timeless. This isn't something that's just stuck in the past. So the big question is, how does this kind of love show up today? Well, the source gives us some really powerful modern-day examples. It's things like caring for people on the fringes of society, choosing to forgive someone who really wronged you, or investing your time in mentoring someone else, or even just embracing a tough challenge because you know it'll help other people. All of these are seen as reflections of that same love. And that brings us to our final section. And let's be honest, probably the most important one, the call to action. Because this isn't just about understanding a concept, it's about what we actually do with it. So the source doesn't pull any punches here. It asks a very direct, kind of tough question that really makes you stop and think. Are you living sacrificially, or are you living self-centeredly? Now, if that question makes you want to make a change, the source doesn't just leave you hanging. It gives us this really practical 4-step guide. This is the how-to. It's a framework for moving from just thinking about it to taking real, deliberate action in our everyday lives. So, when you boil it all down, what's the one big takeaway here? It comes down to this really profound idea from our source. True love and sacrifice are inseparable. You just can't have one without the other. And so, we're going to close with one last personal question. A question that's designed to take this whole idea from theory and make it real. What is one sacrificial act of love you can choose to make today?
Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and comment. Your host, God7, David F. Wafulu.